Welcome to this new mPulse UI deep dive. In this video, we will take a dive into timers and metrics and their subtypes, and why these matter when viewing your charts, and even more so when you're creating or editing charts for your own custom dashboards. When you take a look at our timers and metrics, it becomes clear that they do not all share the same unit. There is of course a very clear distinction between timers and metrics. Timers measure only time, and metrics are measurements of a count of one form or another. Metrics in particular have been divided into various subtypes because your data measures a number of different data types and our metrics reflect these, and we call these metric subtypes. These subtypes are counts. Some metrics are simply counts, things like error count and so on. Then we have percentages. Some metrics represent a percentage, which we sometimes call a rate, but the rate is expressed as a percentage. Bytes. We measure your data in bytes. We call these sizes. All of the sizes in our data are actually measurements of bytes. And then we have currencies, which allows you to track currency transactions that have taken place in your apps. To reflect these differences, you'll now see sub-icons on the metric icons shown in the UI to indicate which unit they represent. When you see a 9 on the icon, it means that it is a count. When you see percentage, it's a percentage. When you see a capital B, it means that it is a byte, a size in bytes. And when you see a dollar sign, that means that it is some form of currency, though not necessarily in dollars. It could be in euros, yen, whatever currency that you have assigned to one of your custom metrics. Because of multi-series, the differences between these subtypes is now key in our UI. There are, however, other subtypes. In fact, you could call these sub-subtypes. So for timers, not all timers are measured in one unit. Some timers are measured in seconds, other timers are measured in milliseconds. When you have a multi-series chart, you can actually mix second values with millisecond values, and our UI takes care of that for you. In metrics, if we take a look at bytes, you'll notice that when you look through the metrics, that there are some measurements, some sizes which are measured in megabytes and others which are measured in kilobytes. And again, our UI takes care of that for you. But it's important to recognize that when you are mixing megabyte values with kilobyte values, you may not necessarily get a chart that works that well. The same thing with timers. When you mix seconds with milliseconds, obviously because there's such a big difference between these two values, you may get charts that are not really that useful. However, we decided that it was better for you to be able to mix these values together than to stop you.